Hello everybody, I'm Gil Butler, the Primal Chef, coming to you today with another recipe from the biOptimizer's Primal Paleo Cookbook. Today we're going to be making one of my favorite side dishes to go with anything Latin inspired. We're going to be doing sweet plantains. And these are a lot different than other plantains you might have. If you've had plantain chips or tostones, those are totally different. We're making maduros, or ripe plantains that are just naturally sweet. They don't have any sugar added to them, and they're so good. So the most important thing when you are buying these, they need to look like this. If you haven't seen them before, it might be a little scary. It might look like these are ready to be thrown out and that they're no good. But no, this is exactly what you want to find. They need to be almost entirely black on the outside. That is when they're ripe. If they're yellow or green, those are for the other dishes, tostones, chips, things like that. But for the sweet ones, they gotta look like this. So we're gonna cut one open. It's gonna slice off one end, sliced off the other end. Make a cut down the middle, just very gently and carefully. Peel it open. If there's any resistance to it peeling, they're not ripe enough. This is coming out very easily, so we know that they are perfect. Then from here, we're just gonna, on a diagonal, cut like this. We want more surface area, so that's why we're cutting like this. We get as much surface area as possible, and that's gonna give the best caramelization and most even cooking. So that is that. If you are, you can just make one if you are just serving yourself, or you can do a whole bunch at once. But we have a skillet here. We're gonna use coconut oil. If you have fried plantains out at restaurants, out on the street, almost always vegetable oil, taking something that's just naturally so good and then unfortunately making it so it's not super good for you. But at home, use coconut oil. The flavor's even better. Coconut and plantains complement each other very well. So this is gonna be more oil than you would use if you were just sauteing something, because we are doing a shallow pan fry. We're not gonna do a full-on deep fry. It doesn't need to submerge it. At least 50% want to be covered, and then when we flip them, it'll get the other half. So that's melting, and then the other things here, as far as seasonings go, just two things, salt and cinnamon. Love dusting those with salt and cinnamon. It really brings out the sweetness, and yeah, so we just gotta wait for this oil to heat up. Roughly 350 degrees is kind of standard oil temperature if you want to use a thermometer, or you can just kind of go by how it looks, feels, and smells. Drop a tester in there. If it's sizzling right, it's probably good. If it's burning, it's too hot. If it's too quiet, it's too low. So you can kind of just learn from there. So just letting this heat up and then we'll get them in. All right, so the oil's almost hot enough. And you can also think about, it's kind of like getting into a bathtub. The water looks like it's this high, you get in, it goes up. So even if this doesn't look like it's gonna be enough oil right now, once we add all these plantains, it'll actually get higher and might be enough. So tester's in. You can hear it starting to sizzle. It's still heating up, but I think it's gonna be okay. We're gonna get these in. It will continue to heat, and we can adjust the temperature as we go. You can see these are really soft, super ripe. And the problem with buying these, it's really hard to find them that they're already ripe unless you go to a Mexican mercado. If you buy them green, and you're trying to wait for them to get to this stage, figure at least 2 weeks before it gets there. So you really have to plan ahead. If you love them and you want to make them a lot, you can get them ripe, cut them up like this, and then freeze them. And then they'll be ready to go when you want to cook them. All right, so that's about as much as I can put in at one time. And they go quick. Since they're so ripe, there's so much natural sugar in there, it'll burn. So it'll go from yellow to golden brown to black very quickly. So you want to be able to pull them right when they're at that ground. I like to move them around, make sure they're not sticking, making sure that oil is getting on both sides of it. It's not trapped. You can see, we'll probably end up flipping this one again, but this is the color that you want to see, or it's just purely golden brown. I'd rather you have to flip these several times to get it golden brown than to wait too long to flip it and then find that it's overcooked. You can see now it's starting to happen quick. So might need to turn down the heat a little bit, keep them moving. Don't forget about a single plantain slice. So this deep golden brown is looking perfect. They're all gonna finish at different times, so you just have to watch them. When one's ready, pull it out. It'll even make the others go quicker once you start taking out the ones that are done. All right, so it's going quick now. I'm turning the heat all the way down. These are all gonna be ready here in about the same time now. Don't let them burn, and you are doing good. All right, so I'm gonna start pulling them out. They're all looking so good. Okay, so once they're out, like I said, just a sprinkle of salt, a sprinkle of cinnamon. Give them a toss, just gently. They're very delicate at this point. And you can just get a nice pile of them. So you can eat them like this on their own. You also can eat them, they're traditionally eaten often with condensed milk, sweetened condensed milk. In the Primal Paleo cookbook, we have a recipe for a non-dairy, no refined sugar version of that. So it's just made with sugar, alcohols, and coconut milk. Cooked way down. You can find all those details in another video. You can put that on top there, or these also go great with any of the Cuban recipes that we have in the Primal Paleo cookbook, like the Cuban roast pork. We eat it over there with all of the other side dishes it comes with. This is just an amazing complement to it. So we're just gonna let it cool off for a minute because it just came right out of the grease, and we're gonna take a bite and just see the magic, so stay tuned. All right, favorite time of the day, I get to taste these. One of my favorite foods, fried sweet plantains known as Maduros, cooked in coconut oil. Oh my God. They're so sweet without adding any sugar to it, but then you still get crispy exterior from the starchy content of the plantain. I said it goes well with the Cuban roast pork, but I would be excited to do it. It's one of my favorite foods, and it came out perfectly. If you make this one, let me know what you think. Throw us a comment, and look for this recipe and many others in the biOptimizer's Primal Paleo cookbook. You can learn more about me, Gil Butler, the Primal Chef, at theprimalchef.com or Instagram, _Primal Chef. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time.